Today we had an event with Professor Joshua Gans from the University of Toronto, Hogan Lovells and Télécom Paris-Tech, a French engineering school, organized a roundtable on the theme of disruption. What does disruption mean? How do you manage it? What does it mean for regulation?
Disruption may be looked at also as a philosophy of action. To be myself a disruptor, I have to think differently. I have to think of myself as an architect of the future. And if you look at the most innovative firms in the high-tech sector, most of those firms have developed a disruptive culture through short cycles of decisions going directly from measure to action.
When a new technology comes along, what should a firm do? And for most new technologies, there are things that add to what customers would like, and so it's an easy decision. You just adopt them. In other situations, it could be a little bit harder because the new technology is something that actually may turn out to have very good prospects. But when it first appears, is in fact a poor performer. So these firms go to their customers and they say, do you want this new technology? And the customers look at it and say, why would we want that?
The main players in the recorded music industry, the major music labels like Time Warner or Universal, that were central in the old days, have remained central in the digital world. And this is because these firms owned an essential asset in the music industry. They owned large catalogs of rights of music titles. And thanks to that, they've been able to get on board a new business model alongside with the new digital players like Spotify or Apple Music.
It's interesting. Autonomous vehicles are definitely something that people see coming in the future. And the one thing we don't know is, can you have autonomous vehicles by adding the capabilities to existing cars? Or do you have to build a completely new car? Does it have to be completely different? Now, we don't know the answers to those questions, so therefore we cannot assess with certainty whether this is a real threat to incumbents in the car making industry or something that's going to enhance them in the future. So what you can do is do the traditional things that we in antitrust know all about. When you're faced with an entrant that looks like it's going to cause you trouble, you acquire it. The earlier you can acquire it, the less regulatory scrutiny it's going to get. Do we need antitrust if disruption is common is something that I have thought quite a bit about. Most people who are into disruption tend to say no. Ask any Silicon Valley entrepreneur and they're like, the world is disruptive. We don't need antitrust economics anymore.
It's quite a paradox. On the one hand, you can see that antitrust agencies say that they are here to promote and to protect competition on the merits. And at the same time, antitrust agencies are very conservative because they are ruling based on evidence. And evidence means facts of the past. And they are also ruling subject to legal review by the court, which leads them to take very conservative approach.
Innovation in this industry is driven by a prize, and a prize is what you'll get for your innovations. What happens though is there's this evolution towards more concentration going on, which of course means that if you can manage to become a leader in the market, it's a great prize for you. So that's a plus for incentives. So, and moreover, the mergers themselves provide these extra opportunities for exit. So it's not clear that you want a stringent mergers policy that says you must go bankrupt instead of being acquired by the incumbent, because that could be part of what is driving any change in this industry. In fact, the message from these dynamic industries is that what we want is not less strict regulatory policy, but just upfront, clearer. And even if we get it slightly wrong on counting the number of firms that we want in the market, it's better to absolve the uncertainty than not do that.